Okay.
If I don't spill all over my computer.
Come on, act like a professional. I'm just
I drink straight out the can. I'm a man.
kidding. Okay. All the way to the top. All the way to the
All the
top.
way to the top.
Well, cheers.
Cheers.
Okay, so unfortunately we don't have wine at my house right now. So we have some refrescas from Corona, and that's why mine's is orange.
I never have wine at my house. I'm not a big wine girl. But I have this because this is what Jonathan drinks.
Okay.
I'm more a beer person, but we don't have any beer right now either, so. This
But
one's good.
next
I
week,
like the strawberry lemonade. So that's like the
yeah,
only
that's
flavor
good. Those
I
are
like out of
good.
these.
Really?
Yeah, but I was telling Jonathan, I think it's because I'm not a big lemonade person in general. Like, that's why I want to try the teas, the truly teas, so bad because I'm
Yes,
such a tea
me
person.
too.
So I feel like those will
Me
be my
too.
shit.
Let's hope so. Let's hope that they
Yeah.
actually taste good and they're not just hyped up for no reason.
Yeah.
Um, but anyways, next week we'll try to have some wine because it is wine with Ray on Wednesdays. Wine with
Yes.
Ray's on Wednesdays. Okay, so that's our thing. Okay, so
Hi, guys.
today, oh my gosh, hi guys,
Hi.
hi, Ray
Welcome
to Ray,
back.
season two, uh huh, Ray to Ray, season two. Say what? Say what? Okay,
Episode 3.
we're good.
Episode 3. Okay.
Episode three. Episode three. Okay. So we thought we would whine with you guys a little bit today about just something that I think is really relevant in both of our lives. I am, walking into the working world, as you may know, and Ray has been in the working world for a long. I mean, we both have, but I'm currently in school learning, and you're working.
Yes.
And I was telling Ray before this that it's so crazy to me that as children we are kind of told or subconsciously think that we need to pick a
A profession.
thing to be a profession when we're like 5 years old. And that is what we need to strive to do. And we need to be that for the rest of our lives. Like,
One
kids are told
specific thing.
one specific thing. Kids are asked when they're like 5, what do you want to be when you grow up? And they're like a teacher, a doctor, all these professions that they name. And then they strive to get there and they are expected to be that their whole lives. When in reality, I feel like we should teach children that you as a person have so many traits, so many talents. I mean, we know how complex humans are already in general. Like, you don't have to put yourself in a box, especially at such a young age.
Right.
And that realizing when you get older, you can literally do multiple things at once, expanding yourself as a brand. And I thought of that because I'm in school right now to become one specific thing. But I know, and I've known for a while, that there's so many aspects in the psychology realm
Right.
that I want to be able to hit and do. And, so I don't know. And then, like I was telling Ray, she's such a great example of this because she works and she's worked multiple jobs at once, not just jobs, but she's learning new traits. She's doing different things and making creative ways to make money and make an income. And I just think, like, now seeing it, I'm like, wow, what a fresh perspective, because all my life leading up till now, I've thought, oh my gosh, I need to be one thing for the rest of my life. No pressure, like,
Yeah.
I just feel like that's what we teach kids, and it would take a lot of pressure off to let them know, like, you can be multiple things.
Yeah, and like, I mean, going off of that, everyone's always like, when you're 5 years old or when you're in kindergarten, what do you want to be? And obviously, everyone's answers at that time are like a cop, a firefighter, a doctor, a vet, those kind of things. And I think everyone kind of already has in mind, like, oh, that's going to change. Like, you're going to grow up, and then, then it starts going to like a doctor, a psychologist, a therapist, like, more advanced. I don't want to say advanced, that's the wrong word, but like in depth, I want to say professions as you grow up and you like learn about different professions. And, it's always like you can be whatever you want to be, but they don't mention that you can be a doctor and still be a fitness coach, or you can be a secretary, but you can also be an athlete. I mean, I don't know.
Like you can have something like a 9 to 5, but still do something creative on the side. Like there
Exactly.
are so many talents. I saw this meme the other day and it was like, you are sleeping on talents that could potentially make you a millionaire.
Yeah.
Like because people nowadays especially are just finding such creative ways to put themselves out there and make money with
Yeah,
it, you
exactly.
know?
I mean, like, for example, like my whole life I was like, I want to be a vet. I want to be a vet. And I was on the track like I'm going to be a veterinarian. I'm going to be a veterinarian. And then in high school, I was like, no, I want to do athletic training. I took one class and I was like, I want to be an athletic trainer. And then I started going to college and I was like, no, I don't want to be an athletic trainer. I don't want to work every Friday night, every football game. Like,
Mm-hmm,
so I was like, I'll be a physical
mm-hmm.
therapist. And then I did an internship and I was like, I don't want to do physical therapy. Like, it's too boring for me. And then I went to, like, oh, I want to be a nurse. And then I looked at the nursing, like, curriculum and I was like, no. And now I'm like, okay, I want to be a dietitian, but I also want to, like, do stuff in the gym and I want to be more hands on. And that's part of the reason why I picked my major because I had so many options that I can do and I still can do. So I feel like if you put that out there and stop putting it down like degrees like communications degrees, because if you hear it, everyone's always like, oh, what are you going to do? Why communications? That's such an easy degree. But look how broad it is and how many things you have
Mm-hmm.
options to versus someone who goes into something like mechanical engineering. Like all you're going to do is mechanical engineering stuff. I mean, I'm sure that's very broad too, but
Right.
like, you're very
And not
limited.
right, but not only that, it's like, okay, even if you do go to school for a specific
Yeah, you
thing,
can go and do something
that
else with it.
you can do something else with it or find something new and start making money off of that. Like you have okay,
Okay, yeah,
okay.
yeah.
You have so many more options that's even outside of what you went to school for. You could still get that degree in physical education or psychology. You can still do that if I mean you went to school for it, so you must have had a passion for it in the
Right.
beginning, anyways. If you're passionate about it, it'll help you out in some area of life eventually. But I just don't want people to have so much pressure, like right when they get out of college, they need to find something in their field.
Oh
If
yeah.
you feel like there is something else calling your name, go for it. Like, go with your gut of like, but I'm really passionate about this at this moment in time. Let me just explore it. And I feel like you will have no idea how many doors that will open in the end. Like, I've just seen as of recently so many adults that have had different stages, different life stages of when they were doing different things. And like they have such a great story to tell.
Yeah.
And that's not saying anything's wrong with working a 9 to 5 all your
Your life.
life, the same job. Because sometimes like that's meant for people and they enjoy that and that's great. But I just think for young adults, let's not put so much pressure on
Right.
us.
And I
You
think
know?
another thing, like for me, for example, like I was so, oh, I'm gonna take a year off and then I'm going straight back to my master's, blah 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 blah. I'm glad I didn't do that because look how many times I changed my mind of what I wanted to do from that time I finished my undergrad to now. And then I would have wasted all this money and been in a profession that I would have felt stuck in because I spent so much money getting
Mm-hmm.
that education in it. And like
Right.
and I knew I was gonna always do something like with my undergrad because that's like my passion is like health and fitness and that stuff. But I just didn't know which realm I wanted to go into. I took the time, did my research, and now I feel like I'm on a right path to start in the fall and do what I want to do. But at the same time, right now I'm working in a freaking warehouse and I love my job. I've started this whole podcast thing with Ray. I have a YouTube channel up and going. I just got a Cricut and we're going to start that business. And like, I'm doing everything that
There's
I
just so
think
many.
I wanted to do. And it's great. It's awesome. And I'm being
What
creative.
I'm
I'm doing what
saying.
I love. So,
And that's what I feel like so many people, I just have a feeling that so many people out there are more creative than they
oh,
realize,
for
but they're
sure.
so focused on getting that like 9 to 5 because they need the money, which is totally understandable. Like work because you need to get money. I get it. We all do. That's why we work, right? We need to live. But at the same time, don't shut yourself completely off from,
Your
I
passions,
think,
your what you're interested in, like and I'm not saying if you're feeling creative go and buy a freaking $600 Cricut. Like, I get that. Like, you know, Jonathan and I had to save for that thing. But like, you know, you start, like, I started on my iPad on Procreate, started doing like little things, and then, you know, work my way up, be creative, and then you'll motivate yourself more and more. Work that 9 to 5, get the stuff you need to get to fund your hobbies and your passions.
Yes, get the stuff you need to get to fund what you really love. And I liked what you said earlier about you being able to take the time, like take time to learn about different avenues that you can take, you know? Like it's just I don't know, I just feel like we're not told that enough.
And at the end of the day, too, I think from especially now, I think it was different, like, you know, our parents' generations and stuff. But from the time you're in freaking second grade now, it's, oh, college, let's do college, let's do college. And then you kind of get this sense of like, oh, if I don't go to college, then I didn't make it. When at the end of the day, not everybody's made out for college. Why are you, if you know, like deep in your heart that you're not a freaking textbook person, you can't sit in 2-hour lectures, you're not going to take anything from it, why spend all that money when maybe you already know everything you need to know about cars, and go get a job as a mechanic where you're going to be making more than if you have a college degree anyways.
Yes. So, networking is so important too. Like it's not just about the textbooks. And I mean, trust me, I know, like I have been in school since I was literally 5. Like I have not stopped. And I am more of a student person. Like I love school. That's honestly like my comfort school, being like
you're good at it, and you're good at it. So it's like
I'm good at it. I love taking notes. I love all of that stuff. You know, homework could be a drag. I mean, ugh. But anyways, I'm good at that. I love that. And don't get me wrong, sometimes I regret it a little bit, especially when I see those student loans. Okay,
girl.
Right? If you want to take your time, take off some some years off of school and focus on what you really love, get some money, you know, work your 9 to 5 or even part-time job and invest in yourself. Wow.
Yeah, and then it just makes school that much more, like I'm taking that time off of school. I was like dreading it because, you know, same thing from preschool to freaking my undergrad. I was just school. I didn't take anything off. I would go to summer school, like no off. And then that I guess it's going on 2 years. Oh my God, I graduated college 2 years ago. But like that 2 years off, like now I'm excited. Like I'm ready to jump back into school and go get my master's and, you know, fresh slate, having that break. And now like I have a fresh mind, like ready to go. But I will say, guys, if you are going to take a break between, like you decide to do the college route and you're going to take that break, kind of keep up on your stuff, because I have, or I'll see stuff and I'm like, oh my God, I forgot that. And like I have to go and refresh, just so putting that out there. Like if you're going to take that break, kind of stay up with what's going on in your major. I mean, I'm not saying
disclaimer,
sit there and read every single freaking article review and everything, but you know, just kind of freshen up a little bit, flip through your textbooks now and then, just so you don't forget. Because I mean, you're still gonna go, if you're planning on going back to school, you're still gonna need to know that information. But you know, but yeah, I'm totally an advocate for like taking that time off. And like, who knows, maybe you've decided you're not gonna go back to school, and there's nothing wrong with that either.
Yeah, if you find your way and that's why I brought up networking earlier, because it's like the people that you meet in the real world and the opportunities that you're able to get with who you meet is a whole other topic. Like there's so much you can do with just human relationships and getting to know people and having them invite you to different conferences or dinners or, you know, whatever gets you to that next step. It's like, wow, so many doors can open.
Yeah, and who knows? Like I was talking to one of the drivers at my job, and he was like, I had a biology degree and I landed up working for the city with their water department. Like, he's like, but my degree got me in the door to do something that I would never even imagine was possible with my degree. And that's right there. That's the perfect example of networking, because that can lead you to something that you wouldn't even think was on the table for you, and you fall in love with a different profession. So it's all about who you know, what you do, how you promote yourself, honestly. And, you know, just going after what you want.
Yes. And like so many people now, like what you said about promoting yourself is important, because so many people now are building brands on who they are.
Literally, you know, look at the whole freaking YouTube community. None of these people have, well, I shouldn't say none of them, because some of them do. But some of these people started when they were 13 years old, bought houses when they were 18, all because they promoted who they were and they sold themselves as a brand. So,
Right.
and they promoted them and who they are. I mean,
Right.
granted, some people are, faked it here and there, but you fake it till you gotta make it sometimes. Like, you do what you gotta do. Like,
You do what you gotta do.
I don't want to say, I was gonna say I'm not capping, but I don't talk like that. So, I'm not, I don't know. What am I saying? Knocking down anyone, I'm not knocking down anyone's hustle. Like, you do what you gotta do.
Right,
So,
I agree.
and
Yeah.
going back to like the college thing, like I think it's so important. Like, and I want to stress this like so hard. Like, yes, I'm college educated. I went to college, all of that. But college was like the right choice for me because, like, right, I love being a student. I love taking notes. I love learning. I love just being in a classroom environment. And I think that's also part of the reason why I didn't stress going back right away, because once COVID hit, I cannot do online school. Like, I would be doing so horrible. I did take 2 classes just to keep like credits rolling, so I didn't have to pay my student loans back yet. But like, I could not, and they were just elective classes, and just like the stress of like, and there was no Zoom on them, so it was like it should have been easy for me, but it killed me, like not being in class, no having freedom to like be watching TV while I listened to the lecture. Like, it's just, I couldn't do it. So for me, going into my master's like that, just knowing the type of student I was, I would not do well at all. But back to what I was saying, I want to stress, like, yeah, I'm, advocate for college, whatever, do it if you can. But I also am the first, like, college graduate from my family, of a family who's worked trade jobs their whole life. Like,
Yeah.
so I get it. Like, if you're great at fixing cars, go be a mechanic. If you're great at, like, if you know you want to be a nurse, don't go do the whole freaking 4-year thing. Go and get your freaking CNA at a community college, start working, and then decide if you want to go get your BSN. Like, there's so many different options that a 4-year college does not have to be the answer for you. And college is always going to be there. So you don't have to go right after high school. You don't even have to go straight 4-year. Go to a community. Freaking cheaper. I wish I would have done that route, to be honest with you.
TBH,
like,
honestly.
Jonathan's got a freaking degree from ASU, and he did PCC for 2 years, and he has like no student debt. So,
oh, what a nice life. I can't even imagine. Can you imagine it? Wow.
That's what I'm saying. Like, just because let's like get rid of the stigma of going to a community college being like you're not smart enough or you're not good enough. Like, it's school. You're getting your shit done. And at the end of the day, you're only paying for 2 years at a big fancy school. And you're still going to a big fancy school. You're still an alumni.
You're still going to get that degree.
Exactly.
Yes.
You're still getting a bachelor's, whether you, most of the time you get an associate's and a bachelor's. So technically these people have an extra degree than you and me, Ray. So, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
and some people, and I just wish, going back to I was going to say PCC, but going back to community college, I think it is kind of important to take those extra 2 years that you just do your GEs, to take that time to really, that's an extra time boost that you can figure out what the heck you really want. And being in college, and in college, they do expand on more careers that are out there that in high school and in elementary school, they don't tell you those things. That's another thing that's fine about. How come they don't offer more options when you're kids and teach you about more things that you can do? And I mean, okay, our whole education system is, I think it could be tweaked a little bit.
Whole other episode.
It could be tweaked a little bit to be a little bit better, to prepare you more for what real life is like. But like Ray said, that's a whole other
all
thing.
I'm gonna say is by the time I have kids and they're in school, I need there to be a class for them about taxes and credit and car payments.
Speak on it. How to apply for a mortgage. Hello.
Yeah. How not to get yourself in a hole instead of having to learn how to get yourself out of the hole.
Financial advisement.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, I know. I agree, man. I hope so.
I would have loved some more cooking classes. Teach me how to freaking sew. Like,
teach me how to be a wife. Thank you.
Well, teach me how to be a wife that has her own freaking education and, but yeah, it's just, Yeah, that stigma that college is a necessity, that you have to have one job your whole life. Like, no. And I'm
Yeah, no.
like, I feel like blessed that I've worked food, I've worked retail, I'm now in this warehouse position. I'm creating content, even if only 30 people watch every single time. It's fun. I get to have a bond with my best friend. Like,
Yeah, it's a
you know?
creative outlet. I think more people should try to figure out what their creative outlet is because I mean, working a job and being like an everyday doing the same thing, like, and you don't explore your
Yeah.
creativity a little bit, that can kind of hinder your well-being, I think,
Oh,
like
definitely.
for me, like I love dancing and I want to get back into that because that's how I kind of let out my creativity and I was happier when I was dancing, like all around in general. I was just like better. And so for some people it's exercising and I get that because when I had a
Routine.
legit exercise routine, I did feel a little bit better about myself. I felt like I was getting that part outside of me and I
Yeah.
was, exercising that
And I
side of myself.
Yeah, and I think all of this can fall under self-care. Like when you think people are like take a self-care day. That's not necessarily taking a bath with freaking a what is it called? What are those balls called?
Bath
A
bombs.
bath bomb. Like that's not necessarily, doing that, doing a face mask, doing your nails, doing your hair. It's like me personally, I'd rather go like on a big long hike. Like don't get me wrong, I like
Yes.
taking my baths and like doing my hair, doing my like stuff. Like I did my eyebrows today, like stuff like that. But I'd rather be like, oh, let's go camping or let's go on a hike,
Oh.
just because like
Mm-hmm.
that's who I am. Like that's the stuff I enjoy doing that I can't do on an everyday basis. But
Yeah.
or like going and taking my dogs to the dog park, like stuff like
Yeah.
that. But find that for you. And I think, like Ray was saying with dancing, once I stopped performing, I was just like now what? Like, because I used to look forward to performances and cheer practice and like, even softball games. Because I
Yes.
feel like for me, softball was like, oh, I'm performing because like there all these
No,
people
but
are watching me to do this.
that is kind of performing, putting on a
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, exactly. Gotta make this play. Like I gotta do it. I gotta do good, kind of a thing. So, and I think that's why this whole podcast and my channel, being in front of the camera, being the center of attention for 30 minutes, is so like relieving to me because it's like my adult way of performing. Because I'm not gonna
Right.
go join a dance team. Like I'm just not. I'm not there anymore. But this is
I think that's
my
true. And like
performance.
I think back in like high school when we were doing cheer and even when I was dancing, like it gives you this boost of confidence of like,
Mm,
ooh, like I have that. That's something that I love. I'm good at it. And I get to let out this alter ego that I don't
yeah.
have in my everyday life. And that's just so healthy. I think it does boost your confidence. I
Oh,
mean,
for
at least just a
sure.
little,
Yeah,
And
definitely.
then if you have some confidence, you that outshines in your everyday
Oh,
life. You
for
know what I mean?
sure. Yeah, definitely. And like a part of that is like the performance, whatever, getting on camera, having the confidence. It gives you an excuse to get ready and to like, to get up,
Yes.
do up a little bit because I don't wear makeup ever unless we're filming
Yes.
or we're
Same.
performing. Like, and I don't have like because there's always like, oh, well, you don't need makeup to be pretty, and I know that. Like, obviously, hello, I'm fine with my face when I don't have makeup on if I go around every day in public without it.
Right.
But it's still fun to like, get creative on my face and just get dolled up
Mhm.
every now and then. So again,
Yeah.
another creative outlet. I think I'm starting to think I'm more creative than I thought I was.
Hello. Yes, you. I think you really are. Like your makeup, your hair, doing videos, doing content. Like I feel like that is so creative, and you wouldn't even realized it
Yeah,
if say you got out of college, got a 9 to 5 right away, and was just in the field all day long. Like
yeah,
you would have probably missed out on some of those things. And I'm like I said earlier, like hey, having a 9 to 5 right out of college, that's honestly very lucky.
good
Honestly,
job,
like
good
having
job.
a yes,
Do we need to
applause to
pull up
that,
those
please.
college graduate rates? Like,
Please, exactly, So that's great, kudos, but at the same time, if not, don't feel bad because there's so many different avenues out there and you can take your time and look for it.
yeah, there's always gonna be, like I said, there's always gonna be college. There's always gonna be something you wish you did. So you might as well do what you
Yes.
can do when you can do it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and like going back to that, I've always been like, I'm gonna start a YouTube channel. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. And I didn't do it in high school when I didn't have time to. I was like, no, people from high school are gonna find it, and you know, in high school, like that's kind of like embarrassing. You know, now I'm like, I don't care. I'm freaking 23 years old. If you don't like me by now, you're not gonna like me. If you think I'm weird, you already think I'm weird. So like, what do I have to lose? Like, I know I got a great personality. I know I have information that can help the world. So I'm gonna put it out there. Yes. So, you know, and I think that confidence comes with, you know, growing up and living life a little bit. Being mature a little bit, yeah.
Going
to my high schoolers, because I know we do have a couple high schoolers watching. If you want to do it, just do it. Because
just do it.
In how many years are we out of high school now? 5, 6?
I
graduated in 2015, so you guys do the math.
Nobody's gonna be 6 years for you this year.
Oh yeah, because I did college already. But yeah, that's crazy. So 2015, start planning the class of 2015 10-year reunion now, because it better be amazing.
Hopefully COVID doesn't ruin it. I'm just kidding.
Like, I'm just saying, one of the people that's in my class, their mother is very involved, so hopefully she plans it.
Oh, that's true.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about. But imagine all of the people that had to have Zoom class reunions this year. Like, do you think that was a thing? Like showing up on Zoom?
I'm sure it was.
With your green screen? Having everybody think you have a bum-ass house. You don't? It's just your green screen, though? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Maybe that's better. Maybe I do want it on Zoom. Let me get a green screen and just pretend.
I'm just gonna be like, I'm gonna walk in there and be like, I ain't faking anything. You guys see my videos. You guys see all my pets. I know you guys stalk my life, so don't act surprised. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm glad, like, this is off topic, but I'm glad to say, like, I don't think I have beef with anyone in my class. Like, to the point where, like, you know, like, to the point, like, in movies, we're like, oh, I'm gonna see Susie Campbell, and she's gonna be so jealous of my life. Like, you know how it's like that in movies? So I hope if you hate me, I'm sorry. I don't know what I did to you. I didn't think I had enemies in high school.
Sorry, not sorry. Get over it. We are literally, it's going to be, 10 years later? Get over yourself, please.
I'm sure there's people, I'm not saying, like, in my situation, but there's people out there that are like that. Like,
yeah.
You know, at this point, whatever. But
yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was our little wine for the day. We hope you guys agreed with us.
And go out there and be you, whatever that means for you. Don't let societal norms bring you down. There's no perfect box for anybody's life.
Yes,
God made you for a reason, so do him the honor of being you.
I can't even. You said it great. I can't even top that.
I had to throw God in there because,
of course,
he's the reason that you're who you are. So
yeah,
just be you guys.
Yeah. All right. I think we did that cute. Okay.
Awesome.
Bye, guys. Have a good week.